happy Friday! Hello sa lahat ng Blogafam natin na nanonood ngayon. And shout out natin ang mga nagtutulakan, nagdadamihan, at napaka-aaga nakaabang dito. Yes naman, sa tulakan talaga. Hello, Kishil Barcil, Angelina Mindang, and of course, my very beautiful boss. Yes, a very beautiful boss talaga. Miss Ace Gapos! Hello to our beshies and to our Blogafam tonight. Uunahan ko na po kayo. Kung naririnig niyo po ako, yes. Paos po tayo ngayong araw na ito. Mga ilang araw na po tayong paos. So kung meron din po kayong mga rekomendasyon dyan para bumalik ang boses natin, Blogafam, as a tita, di ba? Let me know kung paano tayo gagaling dito. Oo, kasi kapit na kapit yung boses ko. Alam niyo, gusto ko lang i-share, no? Talagang, sinabi ko din to sa backstage sa mga guests natin kanina na, pasensya na po, medyo paos po ang lola ninyo today. Alam niyo naman po, ganyan. Pero talagang hoping ako na by grace, by faith, 'di ba? Talagang pag-iwas sa malalamig na drinks, mabalik na yung boses ko. Talaga naman. So kung meron po kayong mga advice sa akin dyan, let me know sa comment section below, 'di ba? Kasi syempre, magpapasko na, kailangan natin tong boses natin. Oo, and hello sa mga comment section natin dyan, no? Sila Jean, maulan dito sa Butuan, sabi niya, but stay tuned, Blogapalooza. Ayan, mag-ingat po kayo dyan, mga taga-Butuan. Hello po sa inyo. And sa lahat ng bagong dating, hello sa inyo. And Jazen, nababasa ko yan. Kahit paus tayo today, kailangan bawiin natin to sa makeup. Oh. And eto na nga, Blogafam, kung napapansin nyo, ay naka-red lipstick na naman po tayo. Ang ibig sabihin yan, talagang for Christmas episodes natin to ng Blog Alive, di ba? Nung first Blog Alive natin ngayong December, talagang nangako tayo sa isa't isa na magre-red lipstick tayo sa lahat ng aking Blog Alive episodes. At eto na nga, pangatlong Blog Alive episode na natin na naka-red lipstick dahil magse-celebrate tayo ng mga Christmas celebrations natin over here, know what I'm saying? At speaking of Christmas celebration nga po, ay meron po tayong Christmas giveaway here on Blogapalooza. At every week nga po niyan ay iba-iba ang ating mechanics, iba-iba ang napapanalunan, at iba-iba ang mga nananalo. And kung gusto niyo pong abangan kung sino ang nanalo sa ating Bloga Christmas giveaway for this week, i-announce ko po yan at the end of this live stream. Super exciting. So mag-abang-abang po kayo. Kung kayo ay gumamit ng ating mga filters sa Instagram, abangan nyo po kung isa kayo sa mga nanalo at the end of the live stream. Pero ito na nga, lahat ng nagko-comment dyan at sumisip-sip sa akin, I love you all. Hello, Miss Che. Andyan si Miss Che. Hello, Jo. Hello, Dave. Na lahat nagsasabi dyan, sana all maganda. Pero ito na nga, speaking of maganda, ang tunay na magaganda ay makakasama natin ngayong gabi. At ang tunay na maganda at ang tunay na may magandang impluensya, naniniwala kami dito sa Blogapalooza na kailangan we try our best to educate ourselves and raise awareness sa mga napapanahon na mga issues, hindi lang dito sa bansa, but all around the world. At ngayong gabi nga po ay pag-uusapan natin ang isa sa mga pinaka-relevant na issue na kailangan pa rin nating patuloy na ipaglaban at patuloy na alamin kung ano ba talaga ang nangyayari sa kanilang komunidad. Tonight, we are gonna talk about the issues na nahaharap ng ating transgender community. So, wag na nating patagalin pa. I'm super excited. Kailangan nating sulitin ang isang oras na meron tayo para magsama-sama ngayong gabi to educate ourselves. Wag na natin patagalin pa. Tawagin na natin ang mga makakasama natin ngayong gabi. Let's start with our first guest na napakaganda, napaka-fresh. Let's call on Pat!
Good evening, Blogafam!
Diba?
You're so pretty, Erica. Hindi ako na-inform, may motive ka pala na red lipstick.
Ay! Pwede pa tayo humabol. Blogafam, kung gusto niyo mag-red lipstick si Pat ngayon, press 1. May pa-del. Miss Pat, ang ganda mo. Kanina ko pa sinasabi to sa backstage.
Mana lang ako sa'yo, ikaw naman.
Yan ang gusto ko sa'yo. Hello, Blogafam na nag-aabang kay Pat. Ayan, kung may mga questions kayo for Pat, Huwag kayong mahiya, i-comment nyo lang yan dyan sa baba at akong bahalang magtanong yan. Basically, utusan nyo ako ngayon, Vlogga Fam. So, wag na kayong ma-shy dyan. If you have any questions, i-entertain namin yan sa inyo mamaya. But of course, tawagin na rin natin ang ating isa pang napaka-fresh, ang ganda-ganda. Gusto ko itanong ang skincare niya. Let's call on Venus!
Ayan, hi Vlogga Fam, hi Miss Erica, hi Miss Pat. My God, ang radiant na naman tonight.
What a word, diba? Talagang radiant. Kailangan yan ang binibigay natin sa ating Vlogga Fam. At ito na nga, kasama na natin si Venus. Ang ganda, ang fresh. Alam niyo, nung nakita ko kayo kanina sa backstage, parang ang naiisip kong salita, ang aliwalas.
Oh,
aliwalas.
grabe. Yung nakita ka namin, parang kaming nananalamin.
Oy! Gusto ko yan. Mag-angatas tayo.
Talaga, apakaganda.
Oo nga,
take
parang
1 minute ko siya.
Super panalo ko yung glass skin mo.
Parang ilaw, Miss Pat. Parang ilaw, gano'n, nagniningning. Apparition. At ito na nga, syempre, bago ko kayo tanungin, bago natin umpisahan ang ating mga chikahan for the night, kakamustahin ko muna kayo. Ano ba ang pinagkakaabalahan nyo lately? Meron ba kayong mga Christmas preparations? Kamusta ang buhay-buhay natin dyan? Umpisahan natin with Pat, ayan. And then Pat, and then Venus. Ganun na lang tayo all throughout the episode para bongga.
Ako mabuti naman. Syempre, tinatreasure ko yung time natin at home right now na I get to spend more time with my family. Feeling ko nga, it's such an opportunity to get to know them more. Kasi nung may trabaho ako before, when I go to the office, halos hindi ko na sila nakikita kasi aalis ako na maaga and then I come home from work ng gabi na. So halos tulog na sila. So ngayon, mas nakilala ko sila, mas nakakapag-bonding kami. And I really enjoy that right now.
Yes, more family time, 'di ba? Ang dami nating nagfa-family time talaga ngayon kasi yung iba sa atin nakaka-relate din diyan, hindi sila close dati pero ngayon dahil nakakasama nila ang families nila, ibang level ang bonding. How about you, Venus?
Ayan, ako naman, so since March, nasa Davao ako, umuwi ako. Pagka-start talaga ng lockdown, umuwi agad ako sa pamilya ko. So ngayon naman, hindi ko pa feel yung holiday season kasi finals pa, ma'am. So gumagawa pa ng requirements and all. Pero looking forward na to spend more time with my family and friends as soon as matapos na tong lahat na to. Ayan.
Yes, laban. Lalo sa mga nag-online class, Vlogga Fam. Kapit, alam natin yung hirap niyan, pero wala ata tayong choice, kundi talaga, finish strong tayo. So, galingan mo dyan, Venus, at excited kami na mapataob mo ang SEM na ito. At ito na nga, Vlogga Fam, sinasabi ko kanina kay Venus, parang nung nasa UP pa ako dati ay isa siya sa mga lagi kong nakikita, nakakasalubong, at parang isa siya sa mga faces of UP Babaylan. So ngayon, ipaalam natin sa Vlogga Fam, Venus, ano ba ang UP Babaylan? Ayan, go, take it away.
Wait lang, pero natakot ako doon. Kasi saan kaya ako nakita ni Erica? Baka sa sketchy na place sa UP.
Sa damuhan ba
Sa
yan,
ano naman?
Erica?
Sa hallway naman. Sa hallway naman.
Ay, sige. Ayan. So, hi everyone. So again, Pat and I are from UP Babaylan. So, UP Babaylan or the University of the Philippines, ito ang oldest LGBTQI student organization sa Pilipinas at sa Asia na nakabase sa UP Diliman. So I'm a current member, Pat is a former member. We basically function as both a support group para sa mga LGBTQI students sa UP Diliman and an advocacy group na naglalaban para sa pagkakapantay-pantay sa lahat.
Love it. Lumalaban para sa pagkakapantay-pantay ng lahat, 'di ba? You deserve it, I swear. As in, I'm so proud. Ang dami ko ding friends from UP Babaylan. So ngayon, ang ating mga Vlogga Fam dito, if you have any questions po about UP Babaylan or LGBTQI, ayan, kahit ano, itanong niyo po yan sa ating comment section and I'm sure they would be more than happy to answer your question. So wag na po kayo mahiya kay Pat and kay Venus. Pero ito na, ako na muna ang magpapakaboy abunda dito. Ako na ang mag-uumpisa ng tanungan, Vlogga Fam. Umpisahan na natin kasi 'di ba talaga namang alam natin na hindi biro ang nagiging laban ng ating pamilya dito. So, ang una ko pong tanong sa inyo ay, why do you think the trans community faces so much prejudice in current time? I think we can start with Pat muna for this question.
I think it stems from lack of understanding basically kasi sa kultura natin, 'di ba? Sanay tayo na pagka sinabing bakla, it's an umbrella term that covers a lot of identities, and I think it's important to understand what a trans woman is para yun kasi minsan yung hindi nagigets kagad ng tao. Akala nila bakla is yung nakita nila sa media, nakita nila sa TV, when in fact, we are more than that. Like, mas marami pang identities within that spectrum. And yung transgender woman, basically, it's someone who identifies differently from their assigned sex at birth. So, siguro, dun pa lang, that very basic concept, hindi pa nagagrasp kagad. So, ang daming prejudices nga because they think it's about something when in fact it's about this. Ganun.
Yes. Actually, ito pong episode na ito ay medyo kinakabahan din po talaga ako. I really want to learn, as in gusto ko din ma-educate yung sarili ko and masulit yung episode na makakausap ko si Pat and Vino. So, Blogafam, if gusto nyo pa pong matuto, i-comment nyo na po ang inyong questions dyan sa baba. I swear, we all need this. How about you, Venus? Why do you think yun yung case?
Ayan. So to continue lang with what Miss Pat said. So yun nga, pinakauna, lack of knowledge, because ano nga ba yung trans? For the benefit of our viewers na hindi ganun ka-familiar sa term. So yung trans or transgender, it is used as a term for gender identity. It is an adjective. So kung trans ka, that means na yung gender na inassign sa'yo nung ikaw ay pinanganak. So di ba kung meron kang penis, sinasabing ikaw ay boy. Kung meron kang vagina, sinasabing ikaw ay girl. So yun yung gender assigned at birth mo. Pero kung trans ka, magkaiba yung gender identity mo or yung pagtingin mo sa sarili mo sa kung ano yung binigay sa'yo nung ikaw ay pinanganak. So gender assigned at birth and gender identity magkaiba. So dun po pasok yung trans woman, trans man. Ako din, isang non-binary na person. So I think dun talaga nagsistem lahat sa ignorance or lack of knowledge about those concepts. And even if alam naman natin ng iba nun, ang yon, for example, alam naman ng ating mga leaders ng ating social institutions, familiar naman ang, for example, ang simbahan, ang gobyerno, ang media about sa ano yung transgender. Pero meron pa ring unwillingness on their part, lack of willingness to accept trans people. So yun.
Yes, totoo yan. As in, like any other problems, Blogafam, kapag ikaw mismo kulang ka ng pangunawa at ayaw mo ring unawain, talagang dun magiging cause ng maraming kaguluhan eh. And I think I have many questions here sa ating comment section. But before we move on to that, gusto ko lang din po malaman, is there anything na masashare nyo po na prejudice na na-experience nyo or something na kahit hindi personal experience ay talagang laganap sa mga nangyayari sa panahon ngayon sa ating trans community na gusto nyo rin pong mapagbigay alam sa ating Blogafam?
Ako personally, halos lagi kong na-experience ang discrimination when I have to present my legal documents. Kunwari, magpaparenew ng passport, paparenew ng license. When I go to these government offices, lagi nila sasabihin na itali mo yung buhok mo. It even came to a point na nung nag-renew ako ng passport, they wanted me to cut my lashes because I look feminine daw when in fact I was male. So parang, hala, ganito ako. This is how I look every day. They want me to look more masculine daw. Parang, syempre mahirap yon. Like how do you, paano na lang yung identification mo that doesn't reflect who you really are, diba? So parang, hindi ko mag-grasp yun. And syempre, paglalaban natin yun na this is how we look. ganyan, ito talaga tayo. Kesa naman when we present our identity cards, it doesn't look like us, 'di ba?
Exactly.
So parang gano'n. Mostly naman pagka naglalakad ganyan, medyo okay. Pero once na it's practically coming out kasi when you present your legal documents. So parang once you out yourself, diyan na lumalabas yung mga negative attitudes ng mga tao. And that's really saddening.
Yes, and ito nakalagay nga din sa ating comment section that these issues exist because of the lack of understanding and lack of willingness to accept them. I totally agree kasi yung sinabi nga ni Pat kanina, 'di ba? Like identification card lang ito. And the fact na it's your ID, dapat yun yung itsura mo. 'Di ba? Kung ano yung nasa picture mo, pag tinignan yung ID mo, yun ikaw. So, the fact na gusto ka nila baguhin, kahit na ayan naman talaga yung itsura mo, like physical attributes lang, says a lot sa kung ano ang meron tayo at kung ano ang pinaglalaban pa ng ating trans community. Grabe. So, nanggigigil ako, pero hindi, sige, nakakaloka. Venus, ikaw, meron ka bang share?
Ayan, so ako din naman, ever since nung bata pa ako, like many other LGBTQI youth or queer youth, nakaranas yun ng pangmutya, ng bullying, just because I looked differently or I acted differently than most other of my peers. And until now, so meron pa rin yung tinatawag na microaggressions, na hindi naman ganun ka, di ba, kung hindi ka siguro trans or hindi ka LGBTQI, hindi mo nakita na offensive yung isang bagay. Pero halimbawa na yung pag-misgender ng isang tao, for example, yung ginagawa kay Miss Pat na as a woman, hindi
Yes.
siya tinuturing na babae. Ako din, of course, as a non-binary person, nakaranas din ako ng ganon. Even, for example, in online spaces, dating apps, nilalagay ko na sa bio ko na I'm non-binary. Tapos, ni-explain ko doon. Tapos, pilit yung like, mo yun, may nanguhut siya pa rin, bakit ka nag-swipe right? Nakakaloka, di ba?
Exactly.
So, may mga ganon. Oo. So, yung mga microaggressions na yun, parang nagiging part na siya ng buhay namin as trans people. And very sad na minsan, parang sinashrug off na lang namin or in-ignore. Hindi namin pinaprocess ng maayos. Kasi parang, alam mo yun, ina-accept na namin na normal yun and mas mahirap pa na we're gonna be more prone to violence if we try to
Yes.
directly respond pa to those people.
Grabe, just nasa pangalawang tanong pa lang tayo. Parang hirap na ako kasi like kailangan nyo pang i-explain yung sarili nyo every now and then. Parang kahit sino yung makilala nyo, sorry po sa boses ko talaga, naluloka din ako. Kahit sino yung makaharap nyo, and the fact na kailangan nyo i-explain yung sarili nyo over and over, it's so unfair. As in, it's so unfair. Like, kahit yung sinabi mo nga kanina na sa bio pa lang, di ba, nakalagay na doon, may ine-explain ka, tapos kailangan mo pa rin ipaliwanag sa nag-swipe right or sa kung sino mang Poncio Pilato, it's really so unfair. At ito na nga, may mga questions na tayo sa ating comment section. At ito din po ay gusto ko din pong mas maliwanagan ako dahil gusto ko ding ma-educate ako yung about sa pronouns po, sa paggamit ng pronouns. Ayan. How can you explain to people on how to use they or them pronouns? Ayan. Kung sino po ang
I
unahin
believe
natin.
Venus is perfect for answering this question.
I see po. Since I also use they, them pronouns myself. So I think magandang unawain na yung lingwahe natin, may certain elements of gender. For example, sa Philippine language, kahit na, di ba yung pronouns natin, siya, hindi naman siya gendered. Wala namang gender doon.
Yes.
Unlike sa English na he, him, she, her. Pero kahit sa Philippine language, meron pa rin tayo mga gendered na nouns or terms like inay, itay, nanay, tatay, kumare, lolo, lola, etc., etc. May mga ganon. So may mga tao, like non-binary people like me, na nahihirapan kung saan ba kami pipwesto. Kasi we don't identify exclusively as men or as women. So hindi kami exclusively men or women. Wala kami doon. So paano namin ipoposisyon yung sarili namin. So sa English language, ginagamit ngayon, recently, ng mga non-binary people, yung they, the pronouns para mas i-reflect yung aming gender identity. Hindi to bago actually. Sa English language, before pa, ginagamit na yung they, them as singular
Yes.
na pronoun. Lalo na kung hindi mo kilala yung tao or hindi mo siya nakita. So yun. So I think yung question was, how do you explain to other people how to use they, them pronouns? Ayan. So basically, yung sabihin mo lang talaga ay not everyone uses she, her, and he, him na pronouns because there are non-binary people. And secondly, hindi ka rin always sure kung paano i-address yung tao based on how they look. Kasi for example, when you see a person na, I think parang they look feminine. So siguro babae sila. So I should address them as women. I should use she, her, miss, ma'am. While hindi naman, yung ibang mga taong ganun, wala naman silang malice, di ba? Hindi naman nila intention na manakit.
Yes.
Pero meron kasing ibang tao na kahit ganun yung panlabas, iba yung kanilang ginagamit na pronouns or iba yung kanilang gender identity. So you can't really assume. So I think the best thing to do is kailangan mong tanungin muna yung tao. Excuse me, how should I address you? But before you do that, of course, you should create a safe space by introducing yourself to. Na, for example, hi, I'm Venus. I use they, them pronouns. How should I address you? Or parang ganon.
Okay. I am learning so much. So, Blogafam, ayan, dapat itatanong ko pa lang din after sana ng question na yun, kung paano sana yung tamang approach para sa mga Blogafam natin na hindi nakakaalam. Ayan na po, nasagot na po agad ni Venus ang mga katanungan sa inyo mga utak, kung medyo yun din ang katanungan nyo. And eto din po, may tanong si Jean. Ang tanong niya, kailangan bang baguhin ang looks na nakasanayan to please people?
Let's go, Miss Pat.
Of course.
Miss Pat,
We don't change our looks to please other people. We please ourselves. We reflect only what is inside of us. So kumbaga, wala tayong pake kung sino nagagandahan sa atin, basta tayo yung nagagandahan sa sarili natin. That's all that matters. And that's all that people should accept. Like hindi sila dapat ang magdidikta para sa'yo how to live your life basically. Kasi buhay mo yan, whatever makes you happy, whatever you are most comfortable with, yun ang dapat na i-express mo. And this is also related to what Mix Venus said kanina na you asked also, you cannot assume yung identity ng tao based on their appearance kasi minsan traditionally male looking sila, but when they identify as a woman, then they should be acknowledged and respected as women. So hindi talaga nagmamatter yung how you express yourself, basta you just do you talaga.
Yes, totoo yan. Very well said, Miss Pat. I totally agree. Alam nyo, Blogafam, and I mean this with the warmest kung ano man ang meron sa puso ko. I think isa sa mga golden rule din siguro talaga ng pakikipagkapwa-tao, kung ano ang nakakapagpasaya sa ibang tao, kung hindi ka nasisiyahan doon, buhay nila yon. Yun na yun like, bahala kayo sa buhay nyo, ayaw nyo rin naman pinapakialaman kayo, di ba? Parang kung ganun lang din ang thinking, I think maiiwasan natin yung magkaawayan, magkairingan. Dapat, kung saan sila confident, if that makes you happy, that makes you beautiful, that makes you accept who you are, then it should not be a problem. Lalo sa mga iba na hindi naman naaapakan yung pagkatao nila. I think, ayun talaga. Totoo yan. Ayan, si Adrian, nag-agree siya, sabi niya, I do that even with guys I date. I ask them how they identify themselves. I think, ayan ang pag-agree din sa kanina na sinabi ni Mix Venus. Alright, eto may next question po ako sa inyo. And since na-mention na natin kanina yung online space, ngayon pong pandemic, much of our lives have moved online. So the question is, has this affected the kinds of struggles faced by the trans community?
Ako, I'd like to believe na naka-help siya for some at some level. Kasi I think we know naman na, like na-mention ni Venus kanina, na trans women are vulnerable to physical abuse. And
Yes.
siguro, since most of us are indoors now and we function within the digital space now, I'd like to believe na na-lessen yung mga ganong physical abuses and violence that trans women experience. But that's not to say na wala na kaming na experience. May ibang layer na siya ng struggle, but at least the physical part lessened na, I guess.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
But
totoo. I go.
sige, go Miss Venus. Go for
Ayan.
gold.
Tama, totoo yung Miss Pat. And additionally din, di ba, may mga queer people, in general, queer people in general, of course, kasali na doon yung trans people, na yung kanilang mga homes, hindi ganon ka safe or accepting sa kanila. So yung mga online spaces serve as safe spaces for them, where they can connect to other trans people as well, to share their experiences, or to really to find their community. Kasi di ba sobrang hirap ng panahon ngayong pandemya, tapos nawala pa yung traditional natin na mga safe spaces na physical. We can't get together with our friends that often na.
Mhm.
So sobrang hirap, especially for trans people. Secondly din, may danger din yung online spaces, kasi di ba ngayon nakikita natin na may increased visibility yung trans people online. So now more than ever, mas nakikita ng mga tao ang trans people, mas pinag-uusapan ang trans issues online. Tapos nag-open din yon ng more opportunities for hate. Diba?
Yes.
So parang siya, double-edged sword, na while, oo nga, pinag-usapan kami, mas visible kami, pero yung aming mga detractors, yung mga transphobic people, yung mga people na prejudiced against trans people, may platform na rin sila para i-express yung kanilang hate sa amin.
That's actually the sad reality about online space. Na yes, we can express ourselves freely, but at the same time, talagang ang dami ring tao na wala lang din talaga atang mapaglagyan ng galit sa mundo, na talagang kailangan nila mang-atake ng maraming tao, ng ating trans
Maraming time,
community. Nakakaloka. Ito, hindi naman sa sa Twitter talaga, nakakaloka talaga minsan na parang, pwede po kayo minsan mag-isip muna bago kayo mag-send ng mga tweet niyo, bago kayo mang-hate, mang-reply. Nakakaloka. Pero bago po ako maloka, ito, balikan natin yung pronouns kanina kasi gusto ko nga din mas ma-educate doon. Tanong po ni Miss Ace, ayan, meron din po bang mga nagmi-mix ng pronouns that they want? Say a person wants she or they na pronouns. May mga pagkakataon po bang ganon?
Yes, of course. Again, parang gusto kong sabihin na walang basagan ng trip. Pero yeah, as a general rule, walang basagan ng trip. Pero more than that, people can use different pronouns at the same time. Pwedeng in different contexts. For example, magkaiba yung pronouns na ginagamit. For example, may isang non-binary person na hindi siya out as non-binary. Tapos gusto niya sa kanyang family, she yung gamitin, pero sa kanyang friends or sa mga tao na out na siya, okay lang sa kanya yung At meron ding ibang tao na for various other reasons, comfortable sila with multiple pronouns. So that's okay, that's valid, as long as galing sa tao mismo yung galing sa tao mismo na multiple yung pronouns nila.
Alright. Basically, wala talagang basagan ng trip, Vlogga fam. Yun lang din naman talaga ang mahalaga. Huwag kayong nangingialam kung hindi nyo buhay yan. Gigigil talaga ako sa mga naku, talaga naman. Pero ito po, since napag-usapan na nga natin na ito, open ko pong sinasabi sa inyo na gusto ko rin ma-educate. And I'm sure a lot of our Vlogga fam ay gusto rin ma-educate. So I want to ask, what are some ways we can educate ourselves and become better allies? What are important points to keep in mind?
Parang nabanggit na rin kanina na yung digital space, I think it's one of the advantages to it is yung access to information, and ang dami nating resources online that we can read and watch and educate ourselves with identities, with gender identities and sexual orientations, basta the whole GSC spectrum, and you can use that to empower yourself and even the community. And with that knowledge kasi 'di ba, pabalik tayo dun sa unang natin discussion na nagsistem lahat ng ito, halos lahat ng ito from lack of awareness. And right now, mas may access sa mga tao to make themselves more informed and more understanding with the situations and identities of people. So yun, that's one. And syempre, pangalawa, respect. Like, basic yun talaga.
Yes.
However someone identifies, all you really need to do is respect. Yun lang naman talaga eh. Wala namang any other special treatment for us. It's just really respect the way we respect others. So, yun lang.
Alam mo, Miss Pat, parang gusto kitang koronahan dito. Parang gusto kong lumusot, bigyan ka ng corona. Yun lang talaga, Vloga fam. Respeto. Kung hirap na hirap kayo magbigay ng respeto, ewan ko na lang sa inyo, ang sasarap niyong kutusan dyan. Nakakaloka kapag hindi kayo marunong rumespeto. Yun lang talaga, wala nang special anything, walang kailangang ibang tandaan. Respeto, yun at yun lang din naman talaga. Hindi siya sikreto eh, ang kailangan sa pakikipagkapwa-tao, di ba? Kung gusto mong respetuhin ka, rumespeto ka din sa iba. How about you, Mix Venus?
Yeah, to continue off with what Miss Pat says, I think we should also, especially yung mga cisgender natin na allies or gustong maging allies. So by cisgender, we mean yung mga taong hindi transgender. So ganun lang kasimple. So for our cis allies, I think it's very important to listen to trans people, to empower trans people. Kasi sino pa naman yung mas knowledgeable, mas adept sa issues namin, kundi kami mismo. So, follow trans and LGBTQI organizations online. For example, Miss Pat, follow UP Babaylan. Follow, for example, if you want to, may pagpa-plug na, no? Follow, if you want to know more
Mix Venus.
about the SOGI Equality Bill, follow Lagablab. So maraming mga trans personalities online na pwede niyong i-follow. Kasi, di ba, instead of listening, aside from reading up online sa mga ating mga many sources on trans people, let's also listen to actual trans people.
Yes.
Tapos second din, I think very important na when talking about trans people or when talking to trans people, kailangan alam natin yung mga basics. For example, number one, yung trans woman or trans man, magkaibang word sila. So, trans space woman. So, hindi siya one word kasi adjective yung transgender, and trans women are just women who happen to be trans. So, they're just one kind of women. Tapos, ano pa ba? Second, of course, pinaka-importante yung pronouns and yung identity. So, to avoid misgendering. So, kailangan ask muna, make sure before addressing. If wala kayong opportunity to ask, or if, di ba, if nahihirapan kayo to ask, you could opt to use gender-neutral pronouns. So, for example, they, them, considered yun na gender-neutral. Mix, for example, sa mga letters namin sa Babaylan, kung hindi namin alam yung honorifics nila, ginagamit namin usually yung mix. Tapos, kung nag-reply na sila, doon na namin sila tatanungin. So, parang mga ganon. Marami pang ibang small tips that you should all try to remember. Pero luckily, maraming online sources for that. And I could redirect you again to UP Babaylan's social media accounts. Marami kaming posts about that. But again, it all boils down lang talaga to basic human decency and respect. Just treat us as human beings, respect us. We're just trying to live and exist in the same way that you are. Pero for us, mas challenging lang. Mas marami kaming kailangan i-overcome na mga roadblocks in order to be recognized as full human beings.
I'd like to add also,
Yes,
na aside from asking them their identity and their preferred pronouns, wag natin sila out after knowing their identity. Kasi yun, may mga safety issues din when you out someone. You should never, wag mo dapat pangungunahan yun. You let that person come out themselves. Like, kasi lalo na sa trans women talaga, we are vulnerable to violence talaga when someone outs us. So kami yung makakapag-gauge when a situation is safe for us. And actually with anyone naman, like kayo
yes.
ang makakapag-gauge kung kailan it is safe for you to come out, because we don't know the situation of people, of individuals. So bigay natin yung opportunity na yun sa kanila, and wag natin pangunahan yung pag-out nila.
Yes, totoo. Respeto din natin yun kahit kanino. Never out someone, whether ka-close nyo yan or bago nyong kakilala, hindi porket nakasama nyo na or nakapalagayan loob nyo na ay nagbibigay na rin yun ng guarantee na you can out someone. It's a no-no talaga, okay? Plaga fan, matuto kayo sa mga sinasabi ni Miss Pat and Mix Venus. And ayun nga, yung sinabi rin kanina ni Mix Venus, talagang pinakamatututunan nyo, yung mga gusto nyong malaman about the trans community from sa kanila din mismo. So ayan, you can always follow UP Babaylan, you can follow Miss Pat, Mix Venus, and I'm sure kung may mga questions kayo na ide-direct sa kanila, mas ma-appreciate nila yon if itanong nyo sa kanila kesa yung nanghuhula kayo or parang gusto nyo na pala malaman pero hindi nyo na rin tinanong. Mas ma-appreciate talaga nila yan if magtatanong kayo. But syempre, dapat may respeto rin sa pagtatanong ninyo. Eto po, may isa pa po akong katanungan po para sa inyo, Miss Pat and Mix Venus. A lot of our audience are content creators and such as influencers and bloggers. Ano po kaya ang role nila sa pag-play as allies or even as members of the trans community themselves?
I think they can use their influence to to spread the word, to spread awareness about LGBTQI issues, especially right now na we are lobbying for the SOGI Equality Bill. Magandang mag-focus doon ng mga influencers natin ngayon, because this is something that the community has been fighting for 2 decades, and hindi pa rin namin maisip why hindi pa kayang ibigay sa atin to, when in fact we're just asking na maging safe tayo, maging safe ang mga LGBTQI people in the Philippines, and that's all there is to it, and yet hindi pa binibigay sa atin for I don't know whatever reason they have. So yun, makakatulong yung boses ng influencers natin into shedding light into that, and yun, basically yun right now ang main priority natin.
Yes, use the platforms kung paano nyo sila pwedeng gamitin. Use it for everyone who don't have platforms na ganito. And syempre tayo din na allies, let's help spread awareness, lalo kung meron tayong malaking following, malaking tulong siya, kahit yung simpleng pag-share, para mas maraming marating na tao sa mga ganitong impormasyon, malaking tulong talaga yan, Blogafam. Mix Venus.
Yeah. Also, it's very, very important din to listen. Ganun ka-basic. Kasi minsan, hopefully wala akong matatamaan dito, charot. Pero minsan kasi meron tayong tendency na to assume other people's experiences. And para sa mga ibang influencers din, may tendency na maging parang may heroes complex na even if hindi nila alam yung mga issues ng community na yon, may ginagawa sila tapos hindi pa nakakatulong. So I think the best thing to do again is to educate yourself. So maraming sources out there, and to listen to actual trans people. Tapos when creating your content din, again, sabi nga ni Miss Pat, important na respect. Kailangan irespeto mo yung trans people. And I think one way to do that is to consult actual trans people. For example, kung gusto ka magpalabas ng video or infographic, tapos hindi ka ganun ka-sure. So, magtanong ka, mag-consult ka ng trans people para hindi ka makasakit ng ibang tao. Kasi sa lipunan natin ngayon, di ba, very established, very, very mainstream, yung mga misconceptions, stereotypes
Yes.
against trans people. The media is doing it, sadly, the church is doing it, our leaders in government are doing it. So, tayong mga content creators, influencers, if you want to create change, kailangan na tama yung pag-represent natin, pag-portray natin sa trans people. And one way, I think the best way to do that is to consult actual trans people. Tapos lastly din, tama yung sabi ni Ms. Pat, so we've been fighting for the SOGI Equality Bill for 20 years now. And ngayon sa context ng pandemic, parang yung mga kumpanya, dinadala natin online. I think a practical tip for influencers would be to use the right hashtags. Yung number one. Kasi ang daming mga nagsi-circulate na hashtags. Tapos while I know wala naman silang 'di ba, masamang intention in using
Yes.
those hashtags. Pero para mas ma-magnify natin, ma-amplify natin yung campaign, let's use the hashtags na ginagamit ng community. So, yung ginagamit natin ngayon ay hashtag SOGI Equality Now and hashtag PassADB Now. So, yun yung makita niyo sa post ng UP Babaylan, ng Lagablab LGBT Network. So, since malaki yung reach and following ng ating mga content creators, so I really, really do hope na gamitin niyo yung hashtags na yun. And also, i-share na lang or i-signal boost yung mga campaigns na pinopost mismo ng ating mga organizations aside from posting your own. So,
Yes. Very well said, Mix Venus. As in, lahat ng kailangan nating malaman for the basic na pwede nating gawin sa pag-share. Blogafam ay na-share na ni Mix Venus and ni Miss Pat. So, uulitin ko din po para sa kanila. Kung pwede nyo pong i-follow ang mga org ng ating trans community, ng ating LGBTQI community, ayan po, you can follow UP Babaylan. And ando na rin po kung may mga questions kayo, of course, you can directly ask it to them. You can direct it to Miss Pat, Mix Venus. At ngayon na nga po, since napapag-usapan din natin ang paggamit ng iba't ibang plataforma, I know we can elevate influence by educating ourselves and raising awareness. At ngayon po, bibigyan ko po kayo ng solo layout and hopefully, if there's anything na pwede nyo pong sabihin sa ating Blogafam, if there are any advice or may mga advocacies din po kayo na kailangang i-spread ngayon, ito na po yung time ngayon. And kung saan din po nila kayo pwede ulit i-follow and ang UP Babaylan, kung ano-ano pa pong plataforma. This is that moment po. So I think I can start with Miss Pat sa part na ito.
I think better mag-start with Mix Venus.
Okay, Mix Venus. Mix Venus.
gusto ko yung back to you,
As Babaylan.
Mix
I think-
Babaylan, let's go.
Ayan.
Okay.
Ayan, again, thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. So sobrang, I think this is one big first step para sa, especially sa mga cisgender allies natin, to learn more about trans issues. So I really do suggest that in the future, you also educate your friends, your family, other people, and use your platform to educate people as well. Then of course, what we need, what the trans community, what the LGBTQI community really, really need right now are true and genuine and supportive allies who will respect us, who will listen to us, and who will fight us. Specifically po, pinaglalaban na po natin ang SOGI Equality Bill for 20 years now. So very basic lang po ang ating panawagan dito. We want to be treated as human beings with basic human rights. Yun lamang po. Yun lamang po ang panawagan ng panukalang batas na ito. And we really, really need more allies to join us in our fight for equality. So you can follow UP Babaylan at UP Babaylan on Twitter and Instagram and at Lagablab Network. So the Lagablab Network is the national network that is fighting for the SOGI Equality Bill. And of course, please don't forget to use the hashtags, hashtag SOGI Equality Now and hashtag PassADB Now. You could also follow me on Twitter at GP_Aves. So please, please join the trans community and the entire LGBTQI community in our fight for equality. So yun naman po, maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Miss Venus. Grabe, na nakikinig pa lang ako, iba talaga yung bigat kasi yung pinaglalaban nila Blog FM ay talagang equal rights lang. And to begin with, dapat wala silang ganitong laban kasi dapat the moment na pinanganak sila dito sa mundong to, dapat lahat tayo pantay-pantay eh. Pero the fact na kailangan pa tong ipaglaban and the fact na ang daming hindi rumerespeto pero respeto pa rin yung nabibigay nila sa atin, it says a lot. So tulungan natin sila sa laban na ito. Let's use the proper hashtags. Let's follow their accounts. UP Babaylan, lahat ng sinabi ni Mix Venus kanina. And I want to say thank you for doing this, Mix Venus. As in, thank you for your genuine and strong heart. Mabuhay ang komunidad ninyo. Miss Pat.
Nakaka-proud naman si Mix Venus, 'di ba? Siguro ang message ko lang, I'll just sum up the whole discussion tonight. It's all about respect talaga. And nakita natin online minsan pag kami balita about the SOGI Equality Bill, sasabihin ng mga tao na the LGBTQI community is accepted naman in the Philippines. Well, that's not really true. The reason why we're fighting for this non-discrimination policy is because we still hear of LGBTQI people being murdered, being denied their jobs, being denied graduation kasi minsan may mga schools that have trans non-inclusive policies, and yun, these are struggles na baka hindi nyo kasi na experience but are very real to the LGBT youth and the whole community. So this is why we siguro we keep talking about it, why we still keep fighting even after 2 decades, because we're still not free. Hindi pa rin kami malayang mabuhay dito sa society na to. Siguro nakita lang natin yung mga siguro mas privileged na nandito na nakakapagsalita, pero how about those who are not able to speak for themselves? And this is why we're doing this. Kaya again, follow UP Babaylan, and also I am part of the alumni arm of UP Babaylan, which is Babaylanes Incorporated. We are also on Facebook, so you may follow us for more LGBTQI resource and references. And also, I'm also a member of the Society of Transsexual Women in the Philippines, or STRAP. So you can also follow us on Facebook. So marami tayong sources ngayon of information, and you can always approach us through these channels. And right now, syempre, we all live in this digital space, so mas madali tayong makontak. So I hope we take advantage of that, and at the same time we spread the word about LGBTQI. We help educate each other, and yun, basically promote mutual respect.
Thank you, Miss Pat. Pwede ka rin ba nila i-follow sa iyong social media account, Miss
Oh,
Pat?
yes, of course. Ayan, they can search me naman on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and just DM me. And if you have questions about transgender related issues, you can siguro I'll make time to answer your questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Pat. Ang hiling ko talaga din ay matapos na yung ganitong laban for the community, dahil you really deserve all the love, you deserve the world, you deserve everything. Lahat ng bait, lahat ng respeto, lahat ng ibinibigay ninyo sa mga tao, kahit hindi ganun ang nakukuha nyo minsan pabalik, it says a lot kung gaano kabuti ang puso nyo at kung bakit deserve naman talaga na maipasa ang mga kailangan ng maipasa. So tulungan natin sila, Blogger Fam. Ako din po ay lumalapit sa inyo na sana ngayong Pasko lahat tayo ay mabigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon na magkaroon din ng masayang Pasko, na equal na ang rights nating lahat, mabigay sa kanila kung ano ang nararapat sa kanila, kasi they really deserve all the love. And with that, thank you so much, Miss Pat and Mix Venus, from the bottom of my heart, and in behalf of the blog, maraming salamat po, and I really hope na maging masaya po ang inyong Pasko, and sana po ay naging masaya din po kayo sa episode na ito na nagsama-sama tayo ngayong gabi. Thank you so much. And Blogafam, speaking of Pasko, ito na nga po ang nanalo sa ating Christmas giveaway from this week. Congratulations to all our winners ng ating Blog Christmas giveaway. Sana ay nakikita nyo ngayon ang inyong mga pangalan sa ating screen. Ayan, abangan lang natin ang mga nanalo this week. Alright. Hintayin natin lumabas ang kanilang names. Pero syempre, habang hinihintay natin lumabas ang names ng mga nanalo from last week's giveaway, ayan, thank you so much po ulit sa ating guests for tonight. And Blogafam, if you have any concerns, if you have any requests din sa mga susunod nating Blog Live episodes, you can always message us on our official social media accounts at abangan nyo rin po bukas ang ating Bloganap, 10 a.m. po yan. Makakasama nyo rin po ako dyan. Alright, abangan lang natin ang mga nagwagi this week. Are we ready? I think nagkakaroon lang tayo ng technical difficulties right now. Alright, abangan lang natin. Ayan, naka-display na. Congratulations, Nel Estrella, Rafael Sidianco, Daryl Escaler, Gailfer, Morena Chick, Bianca SDV, Try_Salazar, Ezekiel Lumbang, Pagsisihan KD, and Mommy Gives. Congratulations po sa lahat ng nanalo sa ating Christmas giveaway. Abangan nyo lang po ang message ng ating Blogapalooza team. And ayun po, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much po ulit, Miss Pat and Mix Venus. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you so much
Thank you
po.
so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Blogapalooza and Blogafam for having us.
Yes.
Kami po ang dapat na magpasalamat. Thank you so much po at napaunlakan
Thank you
nyo
for being allies.
Yes!
Yeah.
Paglalaban natin
yan.
Ipupush natin to. Ako nang bahalang kumonyat sa mga yan. So, Blogafam, sana masarap ang mga ulam ninyo ngayong gabi. Thank you for joining us. Muli ako po si Erica Lucas. Mata sa langit, pa sa lupa. Paalam. Bye, Blogafam. Thank you, Miss Pat and Mix Venus.